Hello, everyone. Welcome to Parents Making an Investment. Hope you are in the best of health today and just want to talk a little bit today and share with you about on the topic of reading. Now, as we are coming to the end of another school year, and our children have already started the summer break, I just want to share the benefits of reading to our children and to continue reading to them over the summer break and the benefits to doing that. One thing that I noticed as my children were younger is, and even before they were even born, I used to read to them, and my husband used to read to them, funny to say, while I was pregnant. So I would just read, books that were repetitious or books that I could sing to or make a song out of like nursery rhymes. And I find in doing this that the first books that my children gravitated to when they were born was the same books that I would read to them while I was pregnant. And it's because they heard it so much. Even in the womb, children can hear, and they hear the pretty much the melody of how you read the book, and they're drawn to that. And so we want to start as early as possible. And for those that are doing it and have been doing that, I applaud you. You're doing a great job and continue to do it. And sometimes we do these things just because, too, we have find the joy in reading ourselves. And so it's just an automatic thing. But just want to let you know that even though for you it comes natural, for some people it doesn't really come natural. Reading doesn't really come natural for some people, just like exercise. Exercise continues and helps to strengthen our bones and our muscles. And so it's the same thing with reading. Reading is a form of exercise, it's a mental exercise. And so, yes, some people naturally read, and they read because they enjoy reading and they find so much information with reading. Whether you were encouraged to do it, some people have, and some children are just natural bookworms, they say. But there's so much benefit to reading. And because to me, I read when I have to. And so I'm trying to develop a better discipline at reading, and not only just reading things that I enjoy, but reading for information as well, personally as a parent. But I just want to share that how we can carry that over into our children's lives as well, so they can become disciplined readers. And the benefit to reading is fluency. As children develop reading, not just one word at a time and um, and even spelling out or even sounding out words, the more they read, the more fluent they become. They become more fluent readers. And you don't want to start out with a book that is going to cause children to become frustrated and discouraged in reading, but you want them to be successful in reading. So start out with books that are simple. Bob books. There's a whole series of Bob books. You could buy it on Amazon if you want to own it, but also your local library should carry the series of Bob books. And so they're numbered based on the stage and of where your child is, whether they're just doing sight words, whether they're doing, one sight word with another word supporting it next to it, and it continues to build their reading that way. So you can always take advantage also of your local library to find those things. Another thing as well is the Dick and Jane book. Those I grew up on as well. Frog and Toad, Friends, The Magic Tree House, Dick and Jane. These are all books that we're familiar with. Little House in the Prairie, The Chronicles of Narnia, Harry Potter. These are a lot of familiar books that as they get older, they can read more into, chapter books. And so whatever it is, whichever way that you want to incorporate reading in your child's life, do it. It also helps with reading also helps with word pronunciation. It expands their imagination. Spelling and writing, it helps them to spell words and to be able to write sentences, sentence structure, and also for the sentence to flow. And most importantly is proficiency. It helps children to become, academically prepared for the next school year. Studies have shown at the University of Tennessee that over the summer break, children tend to fall behind. And they don't just fall behind just a little bit, but pretty much that 2 months that they're off for, they tend to not be able to retain as much of the information and the learning that happened in the last school year. And reading helps to maintain and to retain that information. And just from me observing and also being in partnership with my children's teachers, at school, I have heard that they spend a lot of time reviewing. They review a lot of the material from the past year, and they spend most of the first couple of months of the school year reviewing things that they thought that the child or the students would have known already. They're spending a lot of their time reviewing. And my concern as a parent with that is because then what happens if they're spending so much time reviewing at the beginning of the school year, then they're off to a slow start. But when they try to get in the meat of the material, how much of that material do our children, retain? Because they're trying to get all of it. Because mind you, teachers are on a curriculum and they have to teach the required curriculum in that year's time, in that school year. And then also get our children ready for the next school year. So just imagine by the time it comes around to after the winter break, December, January, it's like crunch time. And they're racing against that curriculum clock to get everything into your child, information and teaching and learning that they need to before that end of school year so they can have them ready for the next school year. But how much of that do our children retain if it's rushed? But we can help in that by making sure that our children, read. And even if it's just 20 or 30 minutes a day, just let your child read. And even for younger children, read with them. Read to them at night before they go to bed. You can even split it up. And that's what I did with my younger children is I split up the reading time because as they're younger, their attention span is very short. And so then therefore they cannot really sit through, 20 minutes of reading. So it's best that I recommend that you split up that reading time. And so therefore reading just 5 minutes here, reading just 5 minutes there, or 10 minutes before bedtime and 10 minutes throughout the day. And yes, I am aware that some of us as parents do have to work. But there is a downtime at home, or you can create the downtime at home. And it could be right before bed. And you take that 10 minutes before bedtime and read to your child. It is so important. It helps their imagination. It sparks conversation, and it's building relationship and bond between you and your child. And so it's best to discipline ourselves as parents and discipline our children to make reading be a part of them. And so even if you need an encouragement, you need your child to be encouraged or motivate your child, there are ways to join free reading clubs. A lot of our local libraries in our community offer these reading programs, especially during the summertime. And so you can sign your children up for those reading programs. at the local library, and usually a lot of times they come with an incentive. They read for a certain amount of time and they can go back to the library. They receive stickers or some type of incentive for completing that reading path. And I feel that sometimes too, even though we don't want to reward our children to even getting them to read, but just even something to look forward to and just having a goal is encouragement enough. You can even organize a book club with your families, young moms, or even in your community, in your neighborhood, on your block, and organize it just to suggest, hey, let's read this with other parents. Let's read this book together. And then you just find times where your children can talk about it or you can talk about it with those other families and friends and stuff like that. So, and another way also is bringing the book alive. As your child read and as your child talk about what they're reading about, find ways to connect. Whether it's a movie, like if you do, like for us at our Friday nights as our movie night, and you can find even movies that are free at the library that you can check out. It doesn't cost anything, parents, to even have a library card, but you can find books that and movies that you can connect books to, and just whatever that the book is about, find a way to make the connection by whatever you watch on TV or whatever movie you want to do for your movie night. And it's just bringing book alive, even going places. Like say for instance, you're reading Charlotte's Web. And so then you take a trip to the farm, to a public farm like Wagner Farm. I don't know exactly where you live, but there's some farms too, that local farms, or even equestrians where horses are, where you can just walk around and view. And it's just making a connection with what your children are reading. And so I just wanted to encourage our parents today to help our children not fall behind this coming school year by allowing them to read 20 to 30 minutes a day. And so that way, all these academic goals that we set and the success that we want to see in our children can and will happen. Just by reading, we don't know how much reading does, but just by exercising reading 20 to 30 minutes a day, you will help your child to be ready for the next school year. I hope you find this video beneficial and helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe and also to like and to share this video with others. Even when we don't know and we're looking for answers, just one video might help someone. And so share this video with someone today to encourage them to pour and invest in their child today just by doing reading just over the summer for 20 to 30 minutes. Take care and thank you for listening.